This massive investment company just said to buy Tesla stock. This is a big deal because they did it for the first time. Now, there is no price target because they did not do those. They have also added Tesla stock to their stock focus list, and they are saying that the share price of Tesla does not reflect its long-term growth opportunities. When massive companies with such huge assets under management start recommending Tesla stock, this does have some impact on Tesla stock price as well. Even though Edward Jones has $1.7 trillion under management, there are many other institutions, firms, and companies that are quite a bit bigger. So, we still have plenty of companies that will start recommending to buy Tesla stock eventually. Let's take a look why they are saying to buy Tesla stock. We believe Tesla's new product launches will allow it to take advantage of this expanding market. Tesla has above average price movement both up and down relative to the market. That has to be some sort of big understatement of a long time. Due in part to shifts in investor views about the future of the company, which depends on growth in the EV market. One big reason why I like Tesla stock so much is because I believe Tesla will completely dominate the EV market for a very long time, for the simple reason that it makes a lot more sense to own an EV than a gas-powered vehicle. Look at what Hertz, the rental car company, said. This is from Kathy Wood. Hertz said that its EV maintenance costs are 50% lower than gas-powered vehicle costs. Now, I understand why several of my recent Uber drivers have rented Tesla cars. And I see this all the time as well here in Vancouver. Then one of my friends gets an Uber, oftentimes it happens to be a Tesla. Why? Teslas are supposed to be these expensive luxury vehicles that no one should be using to make money. Wrong. It's actually already making sense to do so. Just imagine what's going to happen when Tesla releases an actual $25,000 or $30,000 EV, and eventually they will do a $25,000 or even a $20,000 or even $18,000 EV. Do you think people will buy another EV instead of Tesla? Then they compare all the specs? You must be really optimistic to think that many people will not be buying Teslas. And when I say optimistic, what I really mean is silly. You are being silly. Let's see what else Edward Jones said. They said programs that have software or ongoing subscriptions, such as full self-driving, are especially important for Tesla as they are expected to be more profitable. No kidding. Yeah. Additionally, Tesla is working to improve manufacturing efficiency and reduce costs. 46-liter batteries, structural battery pack, giga castings, etc., etc., etc. Then they continue here. Global regulations on emissions and mileage are driving the growth of EVs. We believe the launch of new products such as the Cybertruck and semi-truck in 2023 will help drive sales growth. Yeah. How wouldn't a product of 1 million pre-orders, how would that not help drive more sales? Of course it will. Now, global regulations on emissions and mileage are driving the growth of EVs. Sure, part of it is correct, but when you do the actual numbers, and it actually makes sense to own an EV because it's cheaper to own over a long period of time, it's not just regulations. It is people's bank accounts that are also doing this. Check this out. Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive 5-year cost of ownership versus Toyota Camry. A Model 3 is usually perceived as more of a luxury vehicle, definitely not just an economy car, definitely not. Maybe Not a super luxurious vehicle, but it's fast and it handles pretty well. So you would think that a Model 3 would be closer in terms of cost and ownership to a BMW 3 Series than an actual economy car such as Toyota Camry. And the Tesla is closer to Toyota Camry than it is to the BMW 3 Series. And you just wait and see what happens when Tesla actually releases that cheaper car. And also, in many ways, the car is just better. The billion-dollar fund manager Ross Gerber says at this point, anyone selling Tesla stock is doing so out of emotion or margin. And we have seen a lot of emotion lately. I actually expect a lot more of that in the next months and quarters and perhaps even years, especially if we have a bad recession. Oh, we will have emotion because there are people that own Tesla stock, but they also own a lot of other stocks. Now people are looking at their portfolios and it's mostly just Tesla stock down. Later, if there is a bad recession, they will look at their portfolios and everything is going to be down unless you are in cash or bonds. But then again, many people, such as, for example, David Rubenstein, believes the recession is going to be short and shallow. He's a multi-billionaire, has hundreds of billions of dollars under management. Gary Black also believes that the recession would be caused basically just by the interest rates and that it would be over quick. So will we have a recession? There are two different camps. Elon Musk says it is inevitable. He just doesn't know how bad it's going to be. But if it's going to be bad, prepare for emotions to take over everything. Just be ready for that. Expect that. Then you will not be surprised. Valuation rationality seems to have left the room. It's called the Elon shakeout. Ooh, Ross, I think, is right here. He tends to do this right before his best work. That's like a mic drop moment right here. And Ross is not selling. He's keeping it very simple. I myself, I am dollar cost averaging. Now here is some good news and bad news at the same time. It depends on how you look at it. This is about someone just buying $5.52 billion worth of Tesla stock. Each time Elon sells Tesla stock, it's about $4-ish billion or so. So this was not sold in the open market, meaning the shares were not just dumped on the stock market. If that would have happened, we have seen what happens to Tesla's stock price when Elon sells just $4 billion. It's a buying opportunity. So this was basically a private sale. Let's say you wanted to buy $5 billion of Tesla stock, and I had $5 billion worth of Tesla stock what I wanted to sell. Instead of me going to the stock market and just dumping it all at once and making the stock actually go down just by me selling it all at once, which would give me a little bit less money because the stock would be going down as I'm selling, I go to you and I sell it to you, and you want to buy the stock also. And you don't want to just buy $5 billion all at once also, because if you buy so much, the stock, just by you buying so much, it will go up. This is what I would want Elon Musk to do. Instead of just dumping all the stock on the open market, please consider this instead. Although maybe not yet. I am accumulating Tesla stock, so I do love a buying opportunity. But eventually, many years later, maybe a decade from now, maybe more, I will want to sell the stock eventually. So then, Elon, please don't just dump it all at once. Also, there is the bad news in here. Well, if you haven't figured, for someone to buy the stock, someone else needs to sell it. So I would say the bad cancels out the good here, because otherwise those two would have gone on the open market and bought $5 billion on the open market and sold $5 billion on the open market. So eventually it would have probably evened out. But This way, there's less volatility because it was done all behind the scenes. Elon Musk today basically tweeted that he will present us more buying opportunities. He didn't say that directly, but this is what you can understand from this result right here, because the poll result is to keep shooting his feet, meaning stay in politics and make political comments which many people do not like. And when I say many people, I mean specifically Tesla stock investors that do not want more buying opportunities. When we look at trading volume of today, you would think it was not very high, but when you zoom out a little bit, and it's still so high. Until volume comes back to normal levels, I would still expect a lot of volatility. When it comes to Elon digging his own grave, do not underestimate him. He is the world's #1 engineer, so maybe if he digs deep enough, it will come out the other side of Earth. Elon, back in 2013, tweeted, "No more political comments for me now that I have shot off both feet." My question to Elon is, do you still have feet left? Because if you don't, then what's the point of these bulletproof shoes? Kidding aside, obviously Elon is thinking about how political he should be, and he probably is seeing some of the damage that perhaps he thinks that he is doing to Tesla stock as well. Not so much Tesla the company, but to Tesla stock certainly. And he is maybe thinking about, okay, long term, where are we going to be? And maybe long term, I should change my direction eventually, but in the short term, it's going to be a buying opportunity. People keep forgetting that when you include Elon Musk's options that he can exercise, no one else has more Tesla stock than Elon Musk himself. So his financial incentive is indeed the biggest to make sure that Tesla stock long term is going to be just fine. But short term, unless Elon Musk is planning to sell, short term, I don't think he cares a tiny bit, maybe just a tiny little bit, but not much short term about Tesla stock. And so in the meantime, Tesla is growing at 10 times the market earnings per share, but Tesla is trading at the market multiple. That somehow makes sense. I don't know how, but it somehow, to someone, does make sense. More good news, of course, we will keep seeing more government switching to EVs, just like New York City is doing here. Ford, of course, is catching up to Tesla by producing so many vehicles that they are not even able to produce in a month what Tesla produces in like a few days. And these are 48 reasons why I only own Tesla stock in my stock portfolio. My name is Matt Postis. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.